Hey, Manuel Suarez here. In this video, I want to tell you about superpower. What does that mean and how do you discover your own superpower? And I'll tell you how I discovered my superpower. So listen up. For me, a superpower is an ability that you have to influence somebody else, to positively impact the life of somebody. So all of you guys have knowledge and we take it for granted because it's so ingrained in ourselves and in our minds that we don't think it's that special. But if you have a business or if you have a passion or if you have a job that you're good at, you have a certain ability that you know how to execute on and get products and get results. And that's something that we all pretty much have, right? So we all have an ability to do something well. And we generally underestimate ourselves. In my case, my ability is what took me to where I'm here today. And that ability is my superpower. I obsess over the subject of marketing. This obsession, when I started thinking about it, I didn't even understand that it was marketing. Why? Because I don't have any degree from university. I do not have any evidence that I should be successful. I did not go through the usual systems that traditionally people are expected to go through, because supposedly if you don't go through university education, you're going to be a loser. That's the way that I grew up in my little island of Puerto Rico, where I grew up, where I was born, where I spent half of my life, a little bit less than that by now. That's the way that I felt. I felt that if I didn't go through college, if I didn't go through the system, I was not going to make it. I did absolutely 100% made it, probably more than anybody else in my entire class. So now, how did I discover this particular superpower? The subject of marketing. If you guys have seen me or have seen my content, I do have thousands of videos on the subject of marketing. I have sold hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue. I built my own successful companies. I have built and sold several of them along the way. And I have an enormous amount of success over the last decade particularly, but it all started with a desire to impact somebody else. A superpower is just that. It's an ability to positively influence the life of somebody else. And when you actually execute on this particular ability, you are executing on your superpower. And that's basically what it's all about. So the world of marketing is one, especially in these social media platforms, in TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, etc. By taking your superpower, your knowledge, your ability, your information, and spreading it in a way that people can actually understand it, apply it, and see results. And it happens across any industry, across any area of knowledge. It doesn't matter if you're a realtor, if you have an e-commerce brand around the subject of beauty. It doesn't matter if you're an accountant, a CPA. It doesn't matter what your industry is. You have that ability to positively impact the life of somebody else via entertainment, education, or inspiration. And that's basically what a superpower is all about. How did I discover my superpower? For me, it all began with an impulse to survive. That was the actual origin. I knew that I had to do something about myself. I knew that I didn't have any certificates hanging on the wall to show the world that I should be successful, but I had an intention to survive. I had a desire to survive. I had children that now depended on me, and I had just gone through a massive meltdown in the United States economy in 2007, 2008, when everything fell apart with this thing that we all know as the subprime mortgage market. I was one of those quote unquote victims. I never like to call myself a victim because I'm not. I put myself in that spot. I actually bought a house that I could not afford. I accepted that. I signed the paper. Nobody put a gun in my head. I actually just went ahead and I did it myself on my own free will. But still, I was not supposed to have that house. Along the way, I lost a job. And because I lost this job, I wasn't able to pay for this house anymore. And in 2010, I had to look at my wife in the eyes and tell her, baby, I'm sorry, but I cannot pay for the mortgage this month. I don't have enough money. We're not going to be able to continue sustaining this particular lifestyle. And we made a decision to give it up. And shortly afterwards, I declared bankruptcy and I had to start all over. But at that point, I'm looking at my children, and the fatherly love is a whole different thing. It's a very powerful thing. I'm looking at them and I say to myself, it's not just about me anymore. I got to do something now because I have people, little beings that depend on what I do and what I can create for them. So that just drove me. From that point on, it drove me. And it drove me to first discover what I could do with my own motivation, my hunger, my desire to expand. It was all I had. taking away everything that I had, going for a bankruptcy, not having anything to my name, no money in the bank accounts. I still had me, and that was the most important thing, and I had to figure that out. And I spent a while looking for something. I did not even know what the word marketing meant. No idea what that meant. It took me several years to figure that out, that what I was doing was marketing. The first awakening that I had into my superpower was when I saw my father creating content, and he had this big vision for creating impact with his information, with his value, with his seminars, with his presentations, with everything that he had going on, with his incredible wealth of knowledge. And I saw that and I said to myself, I just started looking around the world, and I went to the parks and the restaurants and the parties and the environment all over the place, and I saw people doing one thing only. They were in their phones, consuming content, watching things. People weren't using the phones, they weren't using the cameras, they were consuming the phones and the information in them. And that led towards an aha moment in which I said, there's something magical about this era. I realized right then and there that 20 years ago, 10 years ago, that did not exist. So when I realized that, I said to myself, I believe there's an opportunity here because there's not enough people actually being on that other side of the equation, creating content. Everywhere I looked, people were actually consuming, and nowhere I looked, people were creating. So that made me realize, there's something called supply and demand. There's a lot of people demanding information, and there's very few people supplying information. And when I realized that, which is just simply observation of what was happening in the world and the obvious, I went all in and I said, Dad, I want to help you because I know I can help you. We already had co-founded our company called 𝗙𝗙𝗟𝗢𝗪 in the United States of America. We already had a great brand, and social media was just taking off somewhere around 2012. Facebook was becoming a big deal. YouTube was becoming huge. It was already huge, by the way. And we just went super deep into that particular concept of getting my father in front of that camera and getting distribution across that entire world of social media. And that was the beginning of that superpower. Shortly afterwards, when I realized, oh, wow, this is actually marketing. It's not only public relations, it's also marketing, because marketing is the art and science of capturing attention at scale so we can actually convert that attention into potential revenue. That's what marketing is all about. So when I started capturing attention at scale and my father's content started capturing attention of millions of people across social media, the YouTube channel was launched March 16th, 2012 in my home office in Texas. And we started doing the social media strategies. When I started doing that consistently and my father's content was taking off organically without having to pay any money, that was a big awakening in regards to, I think I got something special here. So the only way that you can deliver on your own ability to provide value is by actually going out into the world and getting into motion and getting into action and stop any potential analysis paralysis or implementation paralysis. That's how you win. Action is a foundation for all success. That is something that has been proven historically correct over and over again. So I just got into action, and that made me capture attention at scale. So much so that I obsessed over the word attention. And this obsession led towards me creating a company, which is called Attention Grabbing Media, because my obsession became attention. And this obsession leads towards incredible marketing strategies. And these marketing strategies end up producing massive amounts of revenue. In the case of our company, 𝗙𝗙𝗟𝗢𝗪, we have become a really big organization in 7 countries, growing at a very, very fast pace without any outside investors, no outside funding, just every step of the way with incredible marketing strategies. And along the way, I realized that's what marketing is all about. That is my ability. That is my superpower, and all my content across the world of social media, across everywhere that you might have seen me, or maybe this is the first video you see me. Thank you for watching. It's all revolving around my ability to impact you in regards to the subject of marketing and your ability to impact people with your message, your information, your products and services. So the process for discovering a superpower is the process of you getting into action and finding out something that works so you can see people getting impacted by this action and then turning that into a long-term game for yourself in which you continue to impact people with this information. The stories around this subject are pretty endless. I have been helping people over the years really understand what a superpower is, and then going deep with that particular superpower to impact people. And on the back of that superpower, build incredible machines of content, of education, of information that is really changing the lives of people at scale. So figure out what your superpower is. If you want to tell me in the comments here in this video what you believe is your ability to help people, I would love to hear that, and I would love to engage with you and see how I can give you some ideas in regards to what your superpower should be all about. And thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next episode.